You know that story we've all been told about success? That it's all about grinding harder, putting in more hours, and just having more sheer willpower than the next person. But what if that whole story is wrong? Or at least only half of the picture? What if the real key to hitting that next level isn't about working harder at all, but about building systems that do the hard work for you? All right, let's get into this.
And the person behind this idea puts it so well. Look, working hard can get you pretty far, maybe into the top 10%. But if you want to break into that elite top 1%, the entire game changes. It's not about pushing the boulder up the hill anymore. It's about building the damn machine to move it for you.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? The common approach is just to throw more of you at the problem, right? More hours, more grit, more coffee. But the 1% approach, totally different. It's all about designing these external and internal structures, systems, forcing functions, automation that make the thing you want to do pretty much inevitable. So let's break down what that actually looks like.
Okay, first things first, we have to talk about one of the biggest myths in productivity, and that's willpower. We're all taught that it's this, this moral muscle, this endless well of strength we can just dip into whenever we want. But what does the actual science say? A very, very different story. I mean, we've all had this day. You wake up, you're fired up, the coffee's hitting just right, your to-do list is a work of art, you're gonna conquer the world. And then 8 p.m. rolls around, and you've basically negotiated your way out of every single one of those ambitious goals, and you just feel kind of like a failure. Well, it turns out there's a really good reason for that. So check this out. There was this crazy study by a researcher named Roy Baumeister. He brought people into a lab that smelled of fresh-baked chocolate chip cookies. He told one group they could eat the cookies, and the other group, sorry, you can't. Afterwards, he gave both groups impossible puzzles to solve, and the result was just, wow. The group that had to use their willpower to resist the cookies, they gave up on the puzzles 50% faster. So here's the big takeaway, and this is huge. Willpower isn't about your character. It's a battery. It's a gas tank. And every single decision you make, every time you resist a distraction, you're draining that tank. So when you're beat by 8 p.m., it's not you being lazy. It's not a personal failure. It's just biology. So if you can't rely on your own internal willpower, what are you supposed to do? The answer? Stop trying to find the strength inside you and start building it into the world around you. You have to engineer an environment where you almost can't fail. You literally have to trap yourself so success is the only way out. And this idea is not new. It's ancient. It's battle-tested. Picture this. It's 1519. This guy, Hernan Cortez, he lands in Mexico with just a few hundred soldiers. They are wildly outnumbered by the Aztec Empire. I mean, the odds are impossible. So what does he do? He gives this just legendary order. Sink the ships. There was no plan B. There was no going home. And when you remove the option to retreat, you get real creative about making plan A work.
Okay, so there's a modern name for this, right? In behavioral design, they call it a forcing function. It's basically any rule or constraint you set up that just corners you into doing the thing you're supposed to do. It takes the choice and the willpower right out of the equation. And the cool thing is, you can build these traps for yourself like today. Go public with your goal, tell everyone. The social pressure alone is a beast. Put some money on the line, pay for that class before you feel ready. Nothing gets you moving like having skin in the game. Cut off your escape routes. Just delete the distracting apps. Gone. And finally, time box it. Give yourself a hard, non-negotiable deadline.
Okay, so once you set up your external world, it's time to go internal. It's time to literally program your own brain to run on autopilot. No debate, no emotion, just execution.
And the code for this is so simple, it's almost silly. It's just, if X, then Y. You're basically preloading your decisions. You're connecting a trigger, X, to an automatic action, Y. No thinking required. And you might think, okay, that's cute, but the data on this is absolutely insane. This NYU study looked at students who wanted to exercise over a holiday break. The first group just set a goal, I'm going to work out more. They failed 62% of the time. Ouch. But the second group, they made an if-then plan. If it's Monday morning at 7 a.m., then I will go to the gym. Their failure rate? 9%. 9! Same goal, same people, just a tiny shift in planning. This is the whole secret right here.
You have to run the algorithm, not your emotions. See, our brain is a master negotiator. The moment you think about doing something hard, it starts bargaining. Oh, I'm too tired. I'll do it later. I don't feel like it. It's all emotion. But an algorithm, it doesn't care about your feelings. If it's 3 p.m. on Thursday, deep work starts. The end. You're turning that emotional drama into a simple, boring data signal. All right, so you've got your environment set up, you've got your mental algorithms running, but even then, our brains have a limit, right? Especially when the pressure is on. And this is why the absolute best performers, they outsource their brains. So there's this incredible story about a surgeon, Atul Gawande, and he noticed something terrifying. These world-class genius-level surgeons, they were making really basic, totally preventable mistakes. And it wasn't because they weren't smart enough or trained enough. It was because surgery is so complex, so high pressure, that their brains were just maxed out. They were hitting their cognitive limit, and simple stuff was slipping through the cracks.
So what was the revolutionary solution? More training? Better surgeons? Nope. It was a stupidly simple 19-point checklist. We're talking stuff as basic as, are we operating on the right person? And did we mark the correct leg? And when they rolled this out, post-op complications dropped by 36%. Just gone.
But this is the number that just stops you in your tracks. Patient deaths fell by almost half, 47%. I mean, think about that. These are lives saved not by a new miracle drug, but by a piece of paper. Same doctors, same hospitals, same everything. Just a simple system to take the load off their brain. And this gets to this wild paradox, right? The more of an expert you become, the more you need a checklist. You know, a brand new pilot has to use a checklist. But a pilot with 20 years and 10,000 hours in the air, they use the exact same checklist. Not because they're forgetful, but because they know better than to trust their memory when the stakes are life and death. That's what a system does. It frees up your brain's processing power to focus on the stuff that actually requires your genius. Okay, so this all leads to the final stage, the end game. And this is where it gets really deep. What happens when you use these systems for so long that they just become a part of you? Well, you become the system. So we have to just completely flip the script on how we think about motivation. We all think you have to feel motivated and then you'll do the work. It's a complete myth. It's the other way around. Action, repetition, that's what creates motivation. And this isn't just some feel-good idea, it's literally biological. They've done studies on Tibetan monks who have meditated for decades, and they found that when they meditate, their brainwaves literally synchronize perfectly. They're not forcing it to happen. It's just what their nervous system does now. It's been rewired by thousands of hours of repetition. Your own biology starts to crave the behavior. This is the secret behind what looks like effortless talent to the rest of us. You know, you watch Roger Federer hit a serve, and it looks like he was born doing it. It's just perfect. Effortless. But what we don't see are the tens of thousands of serves he hit when no one was watching. And over time, something amazing happens. Your brain stops caring so much about the reward, winning the point, and it actually starts to crave the process, the feeling of the perfect serve. That is when you've truly become the system.
So, look, the point of all this isn't to go out and try to completely overhaul your life by tomorrow. It's to finally admit that willpower is a trap and to start building smarter systems instead. There's a great saying, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So the only question left is, what's the one tiny, almost laughably small system you're going to design for yourself for tomorrow?